All right, so I'm hopping on to show you all how to make a really quick dinner. And if you see me looking back and forth, it's because I have my laptop and my phone that I'm using to try to simultaneously broadcast from Facebook and Instagram. And today we're going to be making pesto meatballs. And so we're starting with some mozzarella. And I usually try to buy this when it's on sale, but for this one, I just figured it was worth it. And we have some Italian style tomatoes. And you don't have to get this kind. If you want to just season it yourself, that's fine, but it is a shortcut that I like to use. And another shortcut is to get jarred pesto. Once again, you can make this yourself. I didn't have time to, so I just picked one of my favorites, and this is Classico. You do want to be careful about the soybean oil content in these, just because it can be a little high in fat. And then we have some Italian seasoning. And you really just want to get a blend that has a couple different spices in it, like oregano, marjoram. This one also has basil, sage, things like that. Just find one that you like and that you prefer and just try it out. And for this one, we're using ground turkey. I like to buy this when it is on sale, of course. And for this one, it's the 93% lean. If you want to get the higher count, you can get the 87%. It's really up to you. It really doesn't make a difference. And for this pack, it's actually the 2-pounder. So what I'll do is sometimes freeze half of it and then prep half of it, or I'll prep both of them and then freeze the half I prep and then cook the half that I prepared. So what we're going to be using to cook these babies is a glass dish. I like glass. Don't have a problem with aluminum. I just like to kind of see everything while it's cooking. And then those are all the other ingredients. Our secret weapon is going to be a cookie scoop. And this is going to make the process of preparing the meatballs a lot faster because you can easily just pop them in, scoop them out, and you're good to go. So the first thing we're going to do is, like I said, I'm going to split the ground turkey in half just because I'm going to save half of it and prep something else with it. Or if I have enough mozzarella, I'll go ahead and prep both sets. And this recipe is pretty easy to do. If you're just joining us, we're making a pesto Italian meatballs. We're using ground turkey. You could use ground chicken. You could use ground beef. It's really just whatever your family is preferring. Let me actually use this. And these are going to have cheese on the inside. You don't have to do that. That's totally up to you. If you are lactose intolerant, obviously don't do that. If you're trying to cut back on calories, then obviously as well don't include the cheese. So it's totally up to your preference. So I went ahead and added half of the ground turkey into a glass bowl. And then I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of the pesto. And you want to make sure you stir this up beforehand. And some recipes call for you to use breadcrumbs or an egg. That's totally up to you. I've done it either way, and I haven't really seen a huge difference between the two. So I usually just leave them out. Okay. And to coat your pan, you're actually going to, oh, oops, I left out one thing. Oh, no, I told you guys about this. So on the bottom of your pan, you're going to just pour one of the cans of diced tomatoes. And this kind that I have is the Italian style. Like I said, you can get the stewed style. You can get the plain diced tomatoes. It's really up to you. So I went ahead and popped these open earlier. And I'm just pouring these on the bottom of the pan. And for our Italian seasoning, I'm going to do 1 tablespoon this time. I've done other quantities as well. It's really just up to your personal preference. And the reason why I'm stirring this first is so that it can go ahead and if you're just joining us, we're making Italian pesto meatballs. I went ahead and added these first so that way the meat can marinate a little bit while I'm going ahead and chopping up the mozzarella. And for this is actually something you can make ahead of time. You don't have to wait to make it the day of. I just happen to not make it ahead of time, I figured I might as well show you guys how to do it as well. So these freeze really well. They last up to 3 months in the freezer, whether you use the cheese version or the regular version, it's the same. So these are almost mixed together. And if you are going to use the cheese, a shortcut you can use is to just get cheese cubes. They work the same. You can get pepper jack, you can use cheddar. I've just found that the mozzarella works really well with the pesto in it. So it's almost mixed up. And you don't want to overwork your meat. You want to make it so that it's not stressed. Let's see if I can put that in there for Facebook. All right, so I'm gonna set that to the side. And for my mozzarella, this you can find in the, I don't want to say the fancy cheese section, but you can find it in pretty much any grocery store. And I'll pop it out. And this pack is 8 ounces. So this is it's about the size of my fist, but you can probably do a little over 20 meatballs with this, depending upon how small you chop your cubes up. So I am just going to, let's see if I can move this down. Well, here, I'll just hold it up when I chop it. So you're basically going to chop it into cubes. And it doesn't have to be perfect because these are going to be stuffed inside the meatballs. And I'll do a few so you guys can see what it'll look like. So first I sliced it into strips, and then I'm going to do cubes. And like I told you earlier, our secret to this is going to be our cookie scoop. So I'm going to take a scoop full of our mixture that we have over here. So a scoop full of our mixture, and then I'm going to pop in. See if I can hold it this way for you all to see. I'm going to pop in the mozzarella, and then I'm going to wrap my scoop around. I'm trying to make sure it doesn't fall out, and then it's going to make my meatball. So essentially, I can roll this in my hand if you don't mind doing that, or I could just plop it down on top of the tomatoes. So it's really up to you. It's your preference. It depends how messy you want to get or how much time you have. And then you just stick it right in the pan. So what we're going to do is, and also I'm going to preheat the oven to about 350 and let it cook for about 25-30 minutes. So I'll pop back on when they're done to let you guys check them out. See you later.